Hello everyone, welcome back to VoidSpace Alpha and welcome to this brand new series of Cities Skylines 2. I know I'm really late to the party for publishing my first playthrough of this game, but I have got about 1,000 hours in the predecessor title. Oh, it looks like it's doing some sort of texture thing and my frame rate has gone to crap, which is fine because we're just going to chat for a minute anyway. So it's doing some virtual texturing. But yeah, look, I've massively enjoyed this series so far. And the second one didn't really pull me in as much as the first one did. I used to make some amazing, well, for me, amazing, but I've seen some of the stuff that gets made on YouTube. And honestly, my stuff is not going to be that good. So definitely click off now. But I've seen some amazing things being made. So I'd love to jump straight in. Big thank you to the 36,000 people that have subscribed to the channel so far. If you are enjoying this series, because this is going to be episode 1 of City Skylines, why not leave a like and a comment down below, and that will let me know that you are indeed enjoying it. Now I want a map with a little bit of visual interest, something that's going to present some sort of challenge and still be a little bit interesting. There was one that was kind of like, is it Waterway Pass? Yeah, that's between, excuse me, between a couple of mountains. We've got a little bit of resources, decent connections and stuff. We're going to have left-hand traffic and have European theme. Haven't really thought of a name, so I'm going to call it New Salopia. Let's call it New Salopia, and let's get started. And look, you guys are going to be instrumental in the creation of this sprawling metropolis that it will eventually become. Hopefully we'll make something together that looks a little bit interesting, but for the time being I just need to get it to be a bit profitable, so I'm going to immediately pause. And yeah, if you've got some suggestions for like road names and all that jazz, please do leave it down below. So what I want is contours, and we can see that we've got a bit of a gentle slope moving from this lake up here down to here. Okay, the other thing I want to be aware of is natural resources, so let's have a look here. There we go. So we've got a little bit of farmland down here, some farmland. So yeah, maybe we take advantage of those. I don't think we can build farms immediately. We can't do like vegetable or textiles or anything like that, but we can do livestock farming. Grain farming is the only thing that's going to be useful sort of down here. So yeah, maybe we'll pay a bit of attention to that. Although that's probably going to be quite a prominent area. And if we just zoom right out, we need to think, where is our city going to end up being sort of the city centre? And that might be more so around this area. And we're also going to need an area for a landfill at some point as well, which does take up a slightly more realistic amount of space than its predecessors. Now, we may just be able to pull down this gentle slope here without it looking too strange. And in fact, oh, sorry, not great at the camera controls. That's kind of okay. That's not a terrible gradient. I'm going to try and be as realistic as possible. So let's at least bring down into this farmland. Now, what I might do is bring a spur off here and just attempt to follow the curvature of this hill. And again, I'm not a big proponent of using like bridges or anything like that. What is that horrible shadow that's cast on the floor there? Oh, that's a gradient line. I'm literally zooming into a gradient line. Yeah, I'm not a big proponent of creating gridded cities. So if I can throw in a few roads that fit the topography of the land, that is going to make it a lot more interesting for us to build. Now, let's pull that to there. Have it go in like so. Is that going to allow me to put a roundabout in? It is not, unfortunately. So I think maybe we need to put the roundabout in first. Annoyingly, I want to put it somewhere in the middle of those two nodes. Okay, let's just throw it there for the time being. No, let's not do that. Let's throw that into there like that. We'll bulldoze that roundabout, and we'll have this roundabout. There we are. So let's continue to do that. So I think the other thing that's going to be really important is going to be wind direction. I can't remember how to get wind direction up on here. It's definitely not power. Air pollution. Here we go. So the wind is blowing this way. So our industry wants to be upwind. So we'll definitely put our industry probably over here, and that's probably a prime location for some logging industry. And we will put our, I was going to say our settlement there. We will put our housing down here. Now, what we need is like a main road. Now, is that going to be a terrible main road with the traffic lights? Ergo, do I need a roundabout? And the answer is probably yes. I'm from the UK, and we basically live by roundabouts. I'm actually from a town in the UK that's famous for the number of roundabouts that's got. So, I suppose, let's go like that. In fact, let's... yeah, no, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. That'll be like our sort of main drag, as it were. And let's continue to pull that out at exactly 180 degrees. We can get a roundabout in there. And we could potentially pull into here 180 degrees and get a roundabout in there. A roundabout just gets rid of the traffic lights and allows traffic to continue to move, which is exactly what we want. Now, I want to put a road down there because I would like, let's do some more curvy-worvy stuff. I would like some waterfront property. I like the idea of there being some waterfront property. Like so, without it actually terraforming the water line. So hopefully I'm far enough away from the water line that that doesn't become a concern there. Let's continue that road down there. Then we've just got some streets to fill in down here. And I feel like it would make sense that there was like a major cut through there. And again, I'm not a city planner. I have watched City Planner Plays, and I really enjoy his content. But yeah, sometimes the random nature of streets is such that you do not maximize the amount of land available for density, and that's the thing that I think gives it character. So that is an ugly corner, isn't it? Let's not do that. Let's try and at least make it a little bit good looking. Let's throw that in there, and then let's come down to here and do that, and then join it up with the straight. That's much nicer. Much nicer. So it does follow around like that. Excuse me. Right, and then I believe that would probably be like another major road that would fill out into this area here. There we go, like so. Right, specialist industry. We've got a little bit of fertile land down here. I don't think we're going to use this fertile land, if I'm completely honest. What I think we are going to use is a piece of logging real estate. And that logging area could go into here and will encompass, or be able to encompass, that entire stretch. Now, we could just throw in a 2-lane road and it will snap to where we need it. So let's pull out a road out of there. And let's do that and throw in... Can't throw in a roundabout there? Why is that? Because of that tree, or is it because of that road join? Let's see if we can do it now. No, invalid shape. Okay. So let's get rid of that. Yeah, it's because of that little nodule there. Let's do that. And then let's rejig this road. Maybe a bit like that. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Yeah, okay. I can see this. I can see this being a place. That's okay. Right, now what we need to do is we need to edit the area in which this can operate. So, what I would like to do is bring out... Why can I not bring that down to here? Right, okay. I think I'm going to bulldoze that and start again, because it's not allowing me... In fact, yeah, maybe throw it on the side. That might be a better idea. Here we go. So, all the loggable area, as in i.e. the area that can be used for logging, is going to be up to the boundary of the road, I think. With the exception of the power lines. And we'll just maximize that space as best we can just to create a decent level. In fact, let's just go up to sort of halfway here. And if we need to, we'll put a one on the other side as well, which we can absolutely do. There we are. So, yeah, we can come up to here. And get over towards this lake, and at least we know the lake is going to remain pretty picturesque in the sense of it is going to not be developed with buildings. Yeah, it might have some logging facilities on it, but that's going to be it. There we are. Cool. Right, okay, we've got some logging industry. That is something. I've no idea how traffic is going to work around this area. Hopefully I've incentivized the primary way in and out of the city to continue to be this long road here, which will more than likely extend over the river. And, yeah, basically join up the motorway on the other side. What's this we've got down here? It's like an old historic train station. That's cool. Anyways, back over to our main stretch. And, right, yeah, I think it's time to start thinking about electricity, which I think we're going to import for the time being. We should probably put that. Yeah, I'm thinking all the way down here. And sure, we are. Okay, if I can select it properly, we're going to run power lines straight down here, like so. We'll run over to there, and we will connect. There we are. And the low voltage power lines then go under the road, and that is all tickety-boo. So that is great. Right, now, water. I would like to pump. I want to pump upstream from where we're going to dump our sewage. So, on that basis, let's chuck the pumping station in there. It will require a road connection. So let's throw that in, like so. And then we're going to need a sewage outlet, which can go down there. And that just requires a sewage pipe connection, so we can do that. That is fine. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So far, we've gotten the rough blueprint of a small little development. Got a little bit of industry in the form of logging. So we're going to need some residential, and I think the most expensive, and i.e. the oldest buildings, will be the residential down by the river. And then that will naturally, I don't want to build all the way up to there actually, that will naturally expand out over the road and then into these areas here. And that will allow me to do some commercial down this strip here, which I may just continue all the way down there, and that will allow me to paint in more residential over here. So yeah, look, I think that is so far so good. I think we've got everything to hit play. I am expecting us to lose some money. I love the idea that it's Neckbeard Mike's comic store is just set up. That is great. Let's put it on speed 3, just so we're not sat here just pointlessly watching something develop, which would be a bit of a pain. But yeah, it looks like people are moving in. There is a need for industry, as in industry. So what I might do is build an industrial hub over here. It's almost as a temporary measure. So we've got our contours and we can do our curves. So let's bring it about halfway down that hill and follow that hill in. Let's bring it all the way up to the top of that slope because we're going to want to curve round. And then, probably taking that curve a little bit too far. Because what I want to do is kind of go straight along here. There we go. And how does that look on the ground? It looks okay. I mean, it's not fantastic, but it does look okay. And I think I'm just going to drop some industrial for jobs on the outskirts of the city limits. And yeah, that's going to be a temporary thing. When we move, when we buy more tiles, we will move the industrial to the outskirts of the town. Now we have a soaring demand for residential, so we will keep continuing to plop down residential. And I think this might be a good street for residential here. The main street might be quite lucrative, as will this street here. I don't want to build anything on these streets if I can help it, as in the main drag down and this main spur off. But there's nothing to say that I can't build a little residential sort of hamlet up here on the edge of the lake. And in fact, I think that would make loads of sense. In fact, pull that out a little bit more, like so. And we will bring that road in. Oh, and we've unlocked milestone 1, which is 25 grand, a reward point, and 3 extra tiles. And we will bring that down there. And of course, we are British, so we're going to replace that with a roundabout on that main road there. Right, now we have demand for a different type of housing. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to de-zone this street, right? And we'll get rid of it. And I'm going to rezone it with the medium density row homes. Like so. So we'll see what pops up there in its place. And I'm going to also drop down some normal, i.e. low density EU housing on the outskirts of this lake. And I think those are going to become quite pretty houses. Now, as you level up in this game, you unlock certain things. I'm sure you know that. We have now a medical clinic, or a small medical clinic, and I think for the size of our population, a small medical clinic will be fine. And I think we're going to throw these city services on the main roads. So I've got absolutely no problem with the medical clinic being maybe one roundabout down. Let's throw it in there. We also need to do some waste management, so we're going to need a landfill. And I think the landfill being on the edge of the industrial is probably not the worst shout in the world. Let's build it up here. In fact, let's go to the edge of our map. I actually watched I don't want to sound too boring, but I watched a documentary about landfills yesterday. Like the engineering behind them and the mechanics of them, and yeah, okay, that's fair. That does sound really boring, but it was quite interesting. So yeah, it was interesting to learn all of that stuff. Why can I not put it in there? Overlapping items. What's overlapping? What is overlapping? Is it that? Is it that tree? Is that tree being a problem? Waste recycling unit? No, don't want that. I just want to do its editable area. Can I relocate it? That gives me the thing again, does it? Okay, wait, hang on. God, that has just gouged out the floor. Let's put it here and see if I can't. Yeah, it's. I think I am doing this correctly. I could also not be. It's a good time to mention if you write in the comments things that I'm doing wrong, then at least I know for next time that I'm doing them wrong. Let's pop you there, pop you there, pop you there. Yeah, I still get overlapping item problem here. It won't tell me what's overlapping. Can I pop it there? No, strange. Okay. Right, I'm just going to bulldoze it. And I think we'll have to think about... That is an ugly eyesore piece of terrain. Hopefully that changes over time. Yeah, it's not even as ugly as our industrial area over here, which is still quite bad. Right, so hopefully I can think of a new solution, and I'm guessing these people have a problem. Oh, they're waiting for a hearse because they have no death care. Right, so we need some death care, and we need some landfill. Let's do the death care first. That might be easier to solve. And in fact, if we go into medical here, we can just use our one unlock point to get a crematorium. And the reason we would do that is because a cemetery is like this size, and a crematorium is like this size. So let's chuck the crematorium there. That's going to get us to a small village, gets us even more unlock points, which is more things to worry about. But we still don't have our landfill. And maybe, I mean, this is prime forestry area over here. So maybe our landfill would be best over in this direction. Perhaps the best way to achieve that would be to take a road off of here. Yeah, I've got overlapping items. So I'm just going to pause for a second whilst I bulldoze some of these power lines. There we are. We'll replace those in a moment. And can I take this bridge off at a perfect 90-degree angle? The answer is I can. What's the sort of common gradient over here? So that is 90, 90. We'll do that. Now this could easily become the city centre, but we're going to turn it into a landfill to begin with. Right, okay, let's just take a big 90-degree turn there. I don't think that's going to be a huge, huge problem. And let's then measure out that distance and measure out that distance. We'll pop our landfill into the centre of there. Let's make it kind of that size. Like that. That fair? Right, okay, we don't have the overlapping item issue anymore, which is great. We need to reconnect our high voltage power lines, which we can do like so, and we can unpause the game. So our garbage facility is now online, and we now require education. We have elementary schools, high schools so far. So we are going to want our small elementary school somewhere accessible, and I believe that might be a perfect location. And we would like our small high school somewhere, and I'm thinking that somewhere around here might be the best location. Maybe even here, actually. There we are. Now, in City Skylines 1, you couldn't do this, but in City Skylines 2, most buildings that you click on, public service buildings, you can give them upgrades, like an extension wing, which actually physically takes up space. You can give, you know, like the small elementary school can it get upgrades? I don't think it can. Maybe this one can. Oh, yeah, it can. Sorry, I'm totally looking in the wrong place. Another extension wing, a gymnasium, additional incinerators at the crematorium, a hearse garage, which just needs to be attached to the crematorium, and it's got like a maximum space area that it can work with here. And yeah, what about the medical clinic? Does that offer any upgrade? I don't believe it does, but you know, it's what it is. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So we've got a pretty decent little town going there, and a pretty good demand for low density, medium density residential and industrial. So that is looking pretty good. Our commercial's thriving. Our row homes are looking nice and lovely. Even though when I zoom in there it lags. I promise I'm not playing on a potato PC. I am playing on a pretty decent spec PC. It's like a top-end i5 with a 3080, I think it is. So yeah, pretty decent PC. But yeah, loving this street. It kind of looks like the street that I live on, which is pretty cool. So yeah, pretty awesome. There's dogs. There's dogs. That is cool. Yeah, I can see that as an actual street in an actual neighbourhood, so that is cool. Well, look, that is where I'm going to leave it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me in the launch of this new series. I am really excited to be building a new city. I'm going to be building it anyway, so I'll be publishing it. But your likes and comments and all that great stuff will really help motivate me to get more done. So thank you so much for that. If you have any street name suggestions or district suggestions or anything like that, please do leave them in the comment section down below, and I will catch you in the next episode.